Hey everybody, got a cool story to share with you today about Star Ocean: The Last Hope for the Xbox 360. In February 2009, Star Ocean: The Last Hope released for the Xbox 360. I remember getting it and immediately falling in love with it, as was the case with just about any JRPG for me back then. That was the norm. Sure, in hindsight, the game has issues, but anybody that knows me knows two things. One, I sunk a lot of time into this game, and two, I loved it and I hated it. For a game that would randomly freeze while you're running around in the field, and it had cutscenes that were so long, your controller would power down, and then when you went to power the controller back on, it wouldn't register input till you restarted the game, you would tell me that I was a nut if I told you that I sunk over 300 hours into this game. You'd be like, dude, what were you thinking? But I loved it enough to fight past the issues. And I'm not joking about that controller thing either. During these cutscenes, you have to randomly remember to like flick an analog stick or push a button just to keep your controller awake so it wouldn't shut off. Now, eventually, a fellow Star Ocean fan would post on a forum, I don't remember which one, that if you disabled the spells, there was two of them, Silence and Void, your game wouldn't freeze. Now, what these spells, reserved entirely for combat, had to even do with running around exploring out in the field, I have no idea. But all I can say is, I turned them off, and I was able to beat the game. One other small gripe I had with the game, I cannot be the only one with this, the disc swapping, the game, the endgame content, basically you had one major town on one disc with one major dungeon, and then on the other disc you had one major town with one major dungeon. So you kind of had to like think of an itinerary or like write it out, so you're like, all right, when I jump to disc 2 to do this other stuff, do these things before I come back to disc 3. When this game was the newest Star Ocean out on the market, it was probably one of the only games I can think of where I was like, please get a digital release. Please, please, please. Because if it came out digitally, you could buy it, you wouldn't have to disc swap anymore. Now, I don't mind putting a disc in my console, but I don't like getting up having to switch the discs when I want to jump around. And it figures that it didn't get a digital release. It's like one of the only games that was like, nope. And I don't even know what became of my original copy. This isn't it. Now, 10 years later, I noticed that Microsoft had just announced the last batch. It's hard to believe it's the last one. Geez, I can't believe this console generation is almost over. They had announced the last batch of backwards compatible games that were coming to Xbox One. And just out of curiosity, more than anything, I took a look because most of the games that get made backwards compatible are not for me. I like weird games that people might consider crappy, like Sudeki. I was always hoping that that OG Xbox game would get, you know, like Ninja Gaiden Black, it would be brought back to the forefront because the PC version is crap. I was always hoping that something like that would be made backwards compatible, but the games I usually like never get that treatment. So when I saw that The Last Hope was on the list, I was immediately surprised. It played a trick on me. You know, I was like, what? I had to do a double take. It's just a game I haven't seen the name of in years. Like I'm excluding the international version, obviously, but The Last Hope for 360, I didn't see anybody mention that in an article in a long time. So I was surprised, but I was not intrigued just yet. Now, don't get me wrong, I thought it was cool. I was like, wow, this is a multi-disc game that makes use of disc swapping late game, and it's being made compatible with modern hardware. I thought that was pretty awesome. But it wasn't until this thought crept into my mind that I truly became interested. I thought I kind of remember stashing my save files in the Xbox 360's cloud storage. Now, I haven't owned a 360 for years, so if my save files are backed up anywhere else, like on a thumbstick, thumb drive or something, I don't know where they are. The only way I could find out, buy a copy, install the game, well, download it, rather, and see if the console downloads anything. Now, needless to say, I wouldn't be making this video if this wasn't the case. My save files were intact. My original file started over 10 years ago. It's like 10 years in February. I mean, might not get it right when it came out, but 260 plus hours in one save file. My battle trophy progress was there. I knew that I had completed characters like Sarah is done 100%. Edge, I'm only missing 2 trophies. Some of the ones I'm missing for other characters are silly, like defeat an enemy with poison. I don't have that. But I'm just glad that my progress is there. I can't believe that it's intact. I've used cloud storage really just for, I didn't really pick it up until, I mean, I used it on PS3. obviously on 360 a little bit, but I didn't really pick it up until this current Xbox One PS4 generation. Just because Xbox One, they give it to you. You don't even need Xbox Live. And PlayStation, I usually have PlayStation Plus, so I've had that. And plus I feel like there's value because you get it for your PS3, you get it for your Vita. So I really didn't start using cloud storage until this generation. But this is the first instance of it that's shown me how cool it really is. Now, despite my problems that I have with the Xbox 360 version of The Last Hope, I'm actually kind of thrilled. I've already started playing through it again to pick this game back up because I feel like I finally have a shot at 100%ing this game. I'm only missing 4 achievements. I do like the PS3 version, but because I sunk so much of my time and effort into this one, by the time I got to this one, I was really kind of I started out kind of tired and I didn't want to do all of the same content again. So I played the PS3 version about half as much. I did far less battle trophy progression, even though I can tell you I prefer that version. I've never truly completed 100% of any Star Ocean game. The voice collection in the second story was bugged. I could never get some of the voices to unlock. I think voice 9, maybe. I think if memory serves, voice 9 for Claude. Never got it! I believe I was only missing 1 trophy in Star Ocean till the end of time, and it was, if memory serves, it was 1,000,000 button presses. I still have my original PS2 card, and I have a PS2, it's not hooked up, but that'd be awesome to hook that baby up and see, and maybe finally complete that one too. Anyways, I hope that The Last Hope will be the first that I get to complete, and here's hoping that it won't be another 10 years in between. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe so you don't miss out on other content like this. Hopefully I have a video coming soon where I talk a little bit about Star Ocean First Departure R and just some things I hope that are in that game. And last but not least, most important, thanks for taking the time out of your busy day to be here with me. And I'll see you next time.